Have you ever experienced negative thoughts? Oh, I do all the time. And then you must know also how powerful our negative thoughts can be. Well, wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be amazing if you could take your negative thoughts, take the power of your own negative thinking and harness it. Use it for good. And that's what we want to do in these next 3 videos. We want to help you think more positive, be more positive, feel more positive by using the power of your negative thoughts. Check it out. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome to My 5 Minds. This is where we're going to help you do more, be more, and feel better by learning what a new neuropsychology, what we call systems or systemology. And today what we're going to look at specifically is the systems, the patterns that make up your negative thinking. And what I want to do again is take those patterns and apply them to help you use the power of negative thinking to feel better about yourself. Let's begin a little bit with kind of a strange thought. The strange thought is your brain does not like to think. I know that sounds weird, right? But it's true. Your brain does not like to think. Why? Thinking takes time. Thinking takes resources. Thinking takes work. And so your brain loves to come up with systems, patterns, things that it can do to process things quicker and easier. And there's a pattern to how your brain processes almost everything. Let me give you just a really quick example. Language. I'm talking to you right now, and it would be really inefficient if every time I talk to you or anybody else, I had to come up with a brand new language. Or I had to try and figure out what their language was, what my language was. That would take tons of work. So what we do is we create a system, a structure, a process to communicate. And then because of that process, we allow the process to do the work for us. And then we can go on with other kind of things. Well, your thinking brain does the same thing. Let me introduce you to your thinking brain real quick. I call him Leo because he is your left neocortex. Leo, get it? Your right neocortex, I call Rio. Right, left, get it? Anyway, Leo, your thinking brain, loves logic. He loves to process things and understand why something is happening. To create an understanding, what Leo will do is he'll go through a process. Now that process has been automated in B, your base brain or your basal ganglia. And that process has been automated for all of us. All of us use the same process to figure things out, to analyze information. Because again, it's more efficient if we have a process that we go through instead of just each time something happens, we have to figure out, okay, what's going on here? What's this? What's that? We have a simple process that we run through. We can analyze things much more quickly. That automated process is embedded in B, your base brain, or what we call your body mind. Now, the process that it's been created is what I call the 4 questions. Because these 4 questions basically are what you filter everything through. Everything that happens to you, everything that's happening to you right now, this video you're watching right now is being processed through the 4 questions. And if we could understand what those 4 questions are, that's going to give us a lot of power because those 4 questions are the same for everybody. However, how we answer those 4 questions changes based on if we're a positive person or if we're a negative person. So the questions are the same. How we filter through those questions changes based on if we are optimistic or pessimistic. So let's learn what the questions are in this video. Next, we'll learn how to interrupt the negative ones. And in the last video, we will reprocess them into positive. Now, what are the 4 questions? Well, the 4 questions are pretty simple. And when I go through them, they'll be pretty obvious to you. You'll go, oh yeah, I do that. But they happen so quickly. And again, because they're all automated, they happen unconsciously. And what we want to do is we want to bring them up into your conscious mind so you can begin to change them. The first question that your brain always evaluates is this significant? Is what's going on around me, is the input that I'm getting important or not important? That's a really key process because 99% of what's happening around you is unimportant. You're sitting somewhere right now. Your bum is feeling where you're sitting. Your brain evaluates that, and because it's not in pain, your brain says, not significant, delete. But there are also parts of your brain that are evaluating what I'm saying and saying, is what he's saying important or not important? If your brain is saying, oh, that's important, then it'll listen. If your brain is saying it's not important, then you're already checking out or you've already checked out. First question, is this significant? Second question, okay, why is this happening? I want to understand what's going on here. So I go through my second question, why is this happening? Now, it's important. I'm looking at and evaluating why it's happening. Third question that's going to hit my brain, what can I do? What power do I have? What influence do I have over the situation? What do I need to be doing right now in response to this significant event? Fourth question, it's going to be more of an analytical question. It's meaning. What does this mean that this event is happening? And there, I'm stepping out of the present and moving more into both the past and the future. In the past, what I'm doing is I'm taking my story. All of us have stories. We have a story, a narrative about our life, and we're seeing how what's happening at this moment plugs into that story. That's going to either confirm our story going forward, or it's going to help change our story as we move forward. So meaning is the last question. What does this mean? What's this mean for my life? What's this mean about me? Now, as you saw in that last question, meaning, we saw basically kind of a general idea. What does this mean? Does this mean something or does this not mean something? All of our questions have that kind of binary feel to them. So let me give you an example. Let's go back up to the top question. Significance. Is this significant? We did a show a while back on your Thinkerator, and your Thinkerator basically evaluates everything that's happening on a scale from 1 to 10. How significant is this? And I guess we could throw 0 in there too, because if it's not significant at all, your mind deletes it. But if it is significant, your mind says, hey, this is important, it's going to evaluate from 1 to 10. Now that's important because those numbers are going to activate the level of energy that Emma, your emotional mind's going to trigger off. Your emotional mind's going to respond to your thinking mind. So if your thinking mind says this is a 1, it's going to produce 1 in terms of energy. If it says this is a 10, this is super or super significant, then your emotional mind's going to produce a 10 in terms of significance, energy, intensity. That's your drive. The second question has really that binary feel to it. Why? Why is this happening? Now again, because your brain likes to simplify things, it has 2 basic categories that can put things into. Is this because of something I did? Or is this something that's related to the environment around me? Those two parameters are going to be filters of how you're going to process that second question. Do I need to focus on me in terms of this why? Or do I need to focus on them, the situation, circumstance, in terms of understanding why? Third question, remember what it was? What? There I'm asking the question, what control do I have? What power do I have? What influence do I have over what's happening? What can I do? Again, your brain kind of has a binary process through that, and it's either going to say, I have control, I have power, I have influence, or I don't have control, I don't have power, I don't have influence. Those two answers are going to be very different in terms of how we process, right? And then the last one we look at, again, is meaning. Meaning is, how does this fit in my story? And there I'm looking at, what's this mean for me personally? And what does this mean for me in terms of my projected story into the future? My story about myself and my story about the future. Homework for you. Find a situation that's been fairly significant for you, and then I want you to go through the 4 questions. All right? 1, I want you to rate, how significant was it from 1 to 10? 2, I want you to go through and look at why. Why did this event happen? 2 scenarios you're going to put it into. It's either because of you did something or didn't do something, or it's because of the environment or the other people around you. See if you can look at what your brain was telling you in terms of why it happened. And again, if you're in a good space, you may find yourself answering differently than if you're in a bad space. So maybe answer both ways. Look at when you were in a bad place with it, if you were, and if you're still in a bad place, look at where you are. And if you're in a better place with the situation, look at how you see about it and look at how you process it now. Okay? Third question, what power did you tell yourself you had over this situation? Either you had no power and it just happened, or you have control. You have control of what's going on. Last, I want you to look at meaning. This, whatever event happened for you, I want you to look at what it means for your life. That's your homework. In the comments, love to hear kind of what you thought about that and how that went for you. Also, if you like the video, like the video. And if you want to learn more about how to use the power of your negative thinking, watch the rest of the series. Subscribe. I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and you are watching My 5 Minds. Take care.